Hello guys and welcome to my channel. It's your tcboy and this is the second video of programming in Turbo C++, and in this video we are going to cover the topic of loops. And there are three types of loops mainly: for loop, while loop and do while loop. So let's get started. But before we get started, one thing that I would like to mention is that if you haven't subscribed this channel yet, please subscribe it right now, because after the third video we are going to start making games on RPG games. So I know most of you people would like to learn how to make your own RPG game or any game, so please subscribe right now. So let's get started with this video. So here we are guys, and let's go to file and new. So as if you haven't watched the first video where we covered the basics of programming in Turbo C++, I'll leave a link in the description. So let's start. As we know, first we have to include files for main function. And we are going to use clrscr and getch to stop the program, and we have to use header file for them. Sorry for that. Conio.h. So today we are going to do loops. So basically, what are loops? So loops are when, for example, if you want to show welcome 5 times or 6 times. So if you want to first of all display welcome, so you can display it like this way using cout command. But if you want to display it 5 times, if you want to display it 2 times, then you can just write cout welcome 2 times. But if you want to display it around 100 times or 50 times or more than that, then you can't just sit here typing cout welcome for around 100 times. So that is the purpose of loops, to minimize your work. So basically, in a loop there are three types of loop: for loop, while loop, and do while loop. We'll study them, we'll study each of them. Starting with for loop. For loop is used when we know in advance that how many times the loop should run. For example, if I want to display welcome 10 times, then I can use the loop, for loop. For, this is a syntax using for. As you can see, for is a function, so it is turned white. Int I, or you can take any integer. I is the variable name, int I, and we have to specify what value, what is the value of I here. So we are going to use I is equal to 0 for now, and I should be less than 10. What does this mean? That I should always be less than 10. If I is equal to or greater than 10, then the loop would stop, and we are going to use semicolon again. So there are three things here: I plus plus. I plus plus means I plus plus here is equal to I plus 1. It's the same thing. I plus plus and I plus I is equal to I plus 1 are the same thing here. So basically what we are doing is, first we are initializing a variable, that is int I. It is an integer. I is equal to 0, and then we are giving the condition for the loop to run, that is I should be less than 10, and then we are going to change the I. In this case we are using incrementation. Incrementation means increasing the value of I with one value. So it's I plus plus. That means after, like for example, if I am using cout, I'm typing cout like 1, anything 1 or 0. So let me explain how the loop is going to run. First of all, int I is equal to 0. Then it will check the condition I is less than 10, that's true, I is less than 10. Then it's going to run the program. It will display 0, and then it's going to increment, that is I plus plus, means the value of I for I now is 1. So I is equal to 1, I is less than 10, it checks the condition, it is true, and it's going to display cout, and then it's going to increment the value of I. So this is going to happen until I is equal to or greater than 10. So let's try and run this program for now. You can see, first of all, it's welcome, then 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. It's 10 times 0. If you may ask that why it displayed 10 times, because we are using I is less than 10 and I cannot be equal to 10, so why it display 10 times? This is because I is equal to 0, so it's going to display I 0 when I is equal to 0, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 and 9, so it's 10 in total. So that was our for loop. One more use of for loop can be, for example, you just only can't display or take input from user. It's not limited to that only. You can also display, like if you want to display counting from 1 to 20 30 40, anything like that, then you can simply display cout I. And we're not going to use double inverted commas because I is a variable, and when we display a variable we don't use the double inverted commas. And if we run this program, and as we have used clr scr, so the previous screen is cleared here, and get ch, so it means that the program is going to wait for us before terminating. So this is welcome 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So this is the value of I in the whole loop. And if you want to display the counting from 1 to 50 or something like that, then you can use like I is equal to 1 and I is less than equal to 50. Less than equal to 50 means the loop is going to run even if the value of I is equal to 50. So let's run this program. You can see welcome 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17. You can't read it all, I'm just going to skip that part. And if you can see, I'm going to use another thing here that's going to be helpful for you. If you can see that after 10 it's going to turn 11 12 13 and you can't understand it. So what we are going to use here is we are going to display a space. It's a space. So if it first of all it will display I when is I is equal to 1, and then a space, then 2, then a space, then 3, then space. So that's going to be more easier to understand and sort of things. You can see 1 2 3 4, you can understand it easily. And another way of doing the same thing that we used here is that we use the space is we are doing the same thing. We are first displaying I, then displaying space, so we can use that in the same line. It's simple, just delete the cout and the semicolon from the first, and you can use this. There's the same thing that we used when we used endl. Let me remind you, if you can see, when we display then welcome and 1 2 3 4 5 6, the counting starts in the same line, so we can use endl here. Endl means the end line, let me remind you. And then if you see the program, welcome and then the next line, you can see welcome, then the next line, then 1 2 3 4 and up to 50. That's the basic of for loop. Now starting with while loop. While loop is used when we don't know how many times the program should run. So I'm going to use while loop. The syntax is this. First of all, I'm going to explain you what I mean by when we don't know in advance that how many times the loop should run. For example, if we want the user to enter his name and let him decide how many times he want to enter the name, so then in that case we don't know, we can't use for loop, because if we use for loop then we are going to use and I integer I, and we don't know I how much times, or I should be less than what, we don't know the condition there. So in that case we are going to use while loop. And for example, first I'm going to enter the body. In while loop there's no declaration inside circular brackets as in for loop. It's different from while loop. Let me enter the body first, then you'll understand it better. For example, I'm going to display enter your name. I'm asking the user to enter his name, and then we have to get input, so we are going to use scene name. Name is a variable and we have to declare a variable named name, rector name, and 20 is the maximum letters that he can use. Now we are asking the user if you want to enter more, so we are going to display cout. Do you want to enter more? And then we are going to get the input from user, and we are going to use scene like answer, scene answer. So what am I going to do here is answer, we are going to take integer answer is equal to 1. We are declaring as well as initializing at the same time. Integer answer and the value of answer is equal to 1, while answer is equal to 1, you can see here. So we are going to give him option from 0 or 1. So if he enters 1, that means is going to enter again, and if he enters 0 or any other value than 1, that means he doesn't want to enter again. Let's run it, but before we run it, I'm just going to compile it. I have to show something to you. There's a warning, you can see, and it's at line 11. Here it is, and possibly incorrect assignment. So what's wrong in this? The wrong part here is if we use a single equal to sign, that means we are declaring it, but and here we are not using we are not declaring, we are checking for answer, value of answer. So we have to use double equal to sign, that is if answer is equal to 1. This is the syntax for comparison, and let's run it this time. Enter your name, he's going to ask my name and I'm entering anything. And you want to enter more, if I enter 1, it's going to ask me again, and if I enter 0, the program is terminated. So that was while loop. And do while loop, the last loop, it's the same, it's most similar to while loop, but in this, if the answer is equal to 0, we take answer is equal to 0, then it's not going to run. So the do while loop, in do while loop, we take the condition, we use the condition, that is while answer is equal to 1, shift. So we take the condition, we insert the condition at the last of the body, and we use do upside. That was the syntax, and what it does is it's going to first interpret these lines and then check the condition, means it will run at least one time. It means he has to enter his name at least once. For example, it's still answer is equal to 0, but we are getting the line enter your name, and we have to enter something like anything. to enter more. If I enter 0 this time, then it's not, it's going to terminate, the loop is going to close. So that was do while loop. It's similar to while loop. So that was the loops topic, guys. So in the next video we are going to do the comparison statements, like that is if, else and switch statement. That's going to be a short video. Before you go, one last thing. There are certain questions on the screen. If you want to practice more, you can solve these 3 questions. It's based on these loops, and if there is any problem regarding these loops, you can't do them, then my hangouts ID is given in the description below. You can message me anytime on hangouts. I will reply within a day or so. So thank you, guys. Please like the video if it was helpful to you, and please share the video because I need views right now. My channel is just growing. So thanks for the support in the last video.